During an interview with Vlad TV, Swerve Strickland created some stir because he responded to a past comment from Booker T. Now, backing up a little bit, Swerve Strickland has had issues with WWE. WWE didn't see him as a top talent. WWE didn't think he was main event material. Remember, he was released by Vince McMahon because. And Swerve had a point to prove when coming to AEW because Swerve believes he's a main event player. And that's been his whole ordeal. That's been his driving force since coming to AEW. He believes he's a main event player. He came out sometime last year and says that WWE doesn't feature black talent enough in terms of the main event. He feels like WWE doesn't feature black talent enough as main event players. Booker T rebuked this. Booker T came out and said,
I don't think it's any bias at all. I don't think it's looked at that way. Me personally, I don't. Just because, I'm there on a weekly basis. I know what the show needs to actually thrive and get to the next level. Because I saw something, a comment that there hadn't been any black guys on the show in the last 3 months. On the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say, okay, what guys are we talking about that we're saying that should be on the pay-per-view? And are they in any angles to warrant the reason for being on the pay-per-view? I'm just saying, because this thing goes in ebbs and flows. All right. And one thing about this business also is just a fact. It's more white guys in it than it is black guys and girls. It just is. It's always been that way. And I never look at should someone just be on the show. I look at whether their talent warrant them being on the show, and as well, are they in an angle right now? Sometimes you might want to see me, but I might want to be off. This thing, it's like a merry-go-round. And sometimes you got to be on, sometimes you got to be off. And if you're just thinking about it from a black and white perspective, you could get caught up in the weeds of what's really going on. So to answer your question, no, I do not think Triple H has an ulterior motive to why people aren't on the show. I think he has a motive to why people are on the show more than anything.
And so when this was brought to Swerve on Vlad TV, and Vlad is stirring the pot, Swerve responded with this.
That's not what happened when Vince said the N-word in front of you. That's not being treated fair. My opinion. And to that statement, it's not even what I'm saying. I'm saying what people are saying. I'm saying what your audience is saying. So it's not just me just talking out of my ass out of nowhere. It's what your audience has been complaining about for the better part of like 2-3 years from not seeing black talent even getting single matches on PLEs and stuff like that.
Booker T caught wind of this, and he responded with the following.
I hear people like Swerve Strickland talk about, it's not a lot of black representation on the PLEs these days. Well, damn it, I didn't have to worry about that in my day. I was on all of them. I was on all the pay-per-views. All right? I was main eventing some of them as well. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about as far as that goes. Maybe it's a drop-off, as far as talent. Maybe guys need to work up to my level, okay? And really, really think about putting themselves in a position and say, hey, man, let's forget about, this black thing, and let's throw it all in and see how good we are. Let's do it the way I did it. All right? We ain't got to start nothing on social media or anything like that. Let's just see how good we are. Because I could have sank, all the way to the bottom in the WWE, just like so many others did. So many of them.
Well,
and more importantly, most of those guys are white guys. I'm just saying, it was about how talented, I was, and as far as he is, it's about how talented he is. It's about how talented every other black person that get what they get in this business. Don't just throw a tag on them because they're black. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And for him to speak on something like that and make it about that because he had a bad experience, bro. That's like painting everybody the same way. I don't see it that way. I don't put myself in the category with everybody else. I just don't.
Vlad TV called him to come do a response interview to Swerve Strickland. Booker T turned it down. He turned it down. He says, I wasn't going to go on Vlad TV and have him make me look like a fool in front of the world. Instead, Booker T came out and said he confronted Swerve to his face and told him how disappointed he was that he said that. Booker T put over Swerve as a black world champion. He did. I remember this. He actually put over Swerve as the AEW world champion when he was the AEW world champion. And we have to understand something. Booker T came up during a different time. Booker T has the mindset of the person who makes the most money, the person who fans are cheering for the most should be the main event. Black, Hispanic, white, Asian. Booker T was on every pay-per-view that WWE's had during his entire run. Matter of fact, he was in the main event of SummerSlam 2001 against The Rock. So, Swerve responded to this following that awful ending on Dynasty. And Swerve said, fuck Booker T. Now, I think Booker T did respond to Swerve.
I see the video of Swerve Strickland, saying F Booker T at the end of what was it?
Dynasty.
Dynasty. The AEW pay-per-view. And you know what? I'm not gonna even get upset about that or anything like that. But I'm gonna give Swerve Strickland a little bit of advice, just a little bit. And that advice would be, don't be talking about something other than the pay-per-view at the end of the night. You know what I mean? That's the main event. That's the last thing people are going to remember. Last thing people remember is me, Booker T, my name being said. And I'm sure if Tony Khan really don't appreciate the news, the headline not being what happened at Dynasty, and with all the matches, hopefully with the great card, all the great matches. But they're talking about Booker T. That just was a bad move. It was a bad move. And there again, he's got a lot of energy, at the end of a show, but I'm not that type, man. I'm from that school. If you got something to say to somebody, you say it in their face, you say it to their face. And, I'm going to leave it at that. You know what I mean? Hopefully Swerve Strickland will have a hell of a career. Hopefully he'll do very, very well in this business. But I'm going to keep stressing what I've been talking about for a long time as far as black folks, especially in the company that I work for. Man, go out there and get it on your talent. Go out there and get it on your merit. Nobody will ever be able to take it away, and no one will ever be able to say you got it because of only for your talent. That's it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to keep advocating for young guys, to go out there and perform at the highest level. Take what you want, because it's not going to be given to you. You got to take it. And the only way you're going to be able to take it is, through your performance, how good you really are inside the square circle, so that's as much as I'm going to say on that issue as far as Swerve Strickland.
It's funny. I know people are picking sides. For me, I agree with both sides. And hear me out. So, Swerve Strickland is coming from a place of hurt. He's coming from a place of someone who wasn't given the opportunity to be a main event player, to be someone in WWE. And AEW did give him that opportunity, and he took it and ran with it. Swerve literally has been one of the best things to come out of AEW. Someone that led WWE to take a chance on himself in AEW, and it's paid off tremendously. The one thing Swerve has over Booker T is that Swerve Strickland is making more money than Booker T has ever made under a WWE contract. Swerve Strickland, and this is proven, is making, I'm thinking 10 million. He's making around 10 million over 5 years. He's making 8 digits. So he's making the most money he's ever made, more than Booker T has. So there's a sense of pride to that. He didn't think he was going to get that. He never would have gotten that in WWE. So now if he ever was to go back to WWE, he can now negotiate with WWE to go, well, look, Tony Khan's giving me 10. You have to give me 10 now. That might hurt him, because I don't know if WWE wants to pay him no 10 million. But Swerve is at a point now in his career where he can now demand that kind of money. He can now demand 10 million. And he did that by leaving WWE, because they weren't giving black representation. And even right now, is he lying about wrestlers not being featured in terms of black wrestlers being featured in the main event scene? No, he's not lying. He's telling the truth. So I get it. 100% I get it. Booker T is old school. And when I say old school, he is absolutely the kind of person that if you have a problem with him, say it to his face. If they get into a fight, all right. Booker T doesn't mind hashing it out with you, but he's a professional. He's a man. He's an old school man. You want to talk to him, I'm not that hard to find. Come see me. But you're not going to disrespect me and expect me to just take it. I do believe Booker T has his corporate tendencies, right? He's going to speak up for WWE. Even when WWE is not necessarily in the right, he's always going to speak up for them because he's a company man. That being said, Booker T, I thought, handled this very professionally because he could have gone on Vlad TV, gotten the money, gotten the check like Swerve did, and completely trashed Swerve and really turned this into a feud, and then this could have gotten ugly. If you have a problem with me, here's my number. Just say it. Now, do I think Booker T is right in terms of WWE presenting black wrestlers on a level that's representative of who we are? Yes and no. You know, Bianca's getting some TV time. Street Profits, New Day, Obafemi. They're doing a triple threat match. Obafemi, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, all black wrestlers. But in terms of like the main event, no, I disagree with them from that perspective. But then I do agree with them from the perspective of, if you feel like you should get the main event spot, prove it. Put us in the ring and show out. And right now, do we really have a main event player that just so happens to be black that can meet the standard that Cody Rhodes, that CM Punk, that a Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns? Do we have anybody at that level yet? We had one. His name was Bobby Lashley. Guess where he is? In AEW. We don't have one. We could have one. If Keith Lee ever came to WWE, there you go. I do believe there's a lot of credence. There's a lot of water to what Booker T is saying. He's absolutely right. Like, okay, you feel like you're not in the main event scene? You feel like you deserve the main event scene? Okay, work for it. Prove it. Get inside that ring and get the biggest reactions out of everybody in the ring. And then maybe you'll be a world champion. Do I think Swerve Strickland, if he came back to WWE, he would get that main event spot? Yeah, this Swerve Strickland would be in the main event. What makes this interesting, and the reason why I'm not necessarily choosing a side, is that I understand where both are coming from. And I happen to be someone that's a huge Booker T fan. Sucker, of course, but also a huge Swerve Strickland fan. And I don't think either one of them is in the right, but at the same time, neither one of them is in the wrong. I do think representation for black wrestlers could be better in WWE, especially the main event scene. Jesus Christ. Yes, we have black wrestlers, but I feel like an Obafemi, when he gets to the main roster, that's going to be that dude where we're like, okay, main event player. So I'll give Swerve that, but I also agree with Booker T from the standpoint of, bro, if you got a problem with me, just call me. You need to go on Vlad TV. What do y'all think? How are we feeling about this Booker T and Swerve Strickland feud? Whose side are you on? Who do you side with?